Hello and welcome to our weekly show, CWU Live. We've had some excellent episodes so far as we build up to the full launch in our new studio, just a couple of weeks away now. We've talked about workplace issues, we've met politicians, but today is time for something a little different. We want to make something very clear before we start. Nothing will ever be more important than representing our members. Improving your terms and conditions, that is our core work. But the CWU is a union that excels in and out of the workplace. Today we're going to talk to three organisations we support, have links to and are very proud of the work that they do in their communities. We are sure you will learn a lot tonight and we will gain a greater insight into the wider work of the union. First up is our friends at First Class Credit Union, one of the three credit unions the CWU works with. Luke and Paul. Luke, welcome to the show.
Luke, Paul.
Luke, Paul, thank you very much. Right, let's get straight into it. The first question I've got for you is, can you tell us a little bit about what the First Class Credit Union does as an organisation and how it was formed?
Of course. So First Class Credit Union began in a Glasgow Royal Mail Centre by postmen and women about 33 years ago. Over those 33 years, the credit union's grown massively and now represents organisations including CWU Trade Union and the PCS Trade Union. We have over 840 employers that we work with to represent their employees and support their financial well-being through the services that we offer. Excellent.
Anything you'd like to add to that?
Just to say that the relevance of the credit union in the climate currently at the minute has never been more prevalent, and the assistance and the support that we give to communities and also the members of First Class Credit Union and CWU members.
Excellent. So the CWU doesn't get involved in endorsing financial products itself, but we do support credit unions, including First Class. How many CWU members have used the services over the years you've been in existence?
So this is a little bit of a tricky one to track. Under GDPR, CWU trade union membership or trade union membership itself is branded as sensitive data, so we're not able to hold that data. We'd have to jump through some hoops, unfortunately, to do so. But what we can say is 50% of our membership is current Royal Mail employees, and the percentage of trade union membership within Royal Mail is very high. So we're confident that most of our membership is either a CWU trade union member or a PCS trade union member.
Excellent. What makes you different from the average bank and some of those dodgy payday loan organisations that are out there? What makes you stand outside of that?
Our approach is ethical, it's affordable, and it's collectivism. And those three terminologies are not used lightly when we go about describing ourselves or comparing ourselves to payday lenders or banks. The credit union is about helping you build savings, and for some employees that we service, that'll be the first time they've ever thought about saving before in their life. As soon as they start saving, they're building their financial resilience. And what we do is enforce your savings. So if you think about it like a seesaw, when you borrow from us, your loan comes down, but your savings go up every single week or month as well. So when you finish a loan with First Class Credit Union, you're in a better financial situation than you would have been borrowing from any other organisation across the United Kingdom, and that's because we care about our members. It's not about profiting from them, but it's about bettering their lives, and that seesaw is one of the differences that sets us apart.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Just further on that,
please.
What we also do, we have a personal touch. You know, you'll find with banks, with building societies, people end up applying for them, and it's the algorithm says no, they're eligible to be lent off these people, or they're not. We have a personal touch where we have an office where people will speak to that individual, discuss their personal circumstances and financial problems and issues they potentially may have, and look at alternative products, even if they wouldn't be currently eligible for that particular loan they were after. We would look at other ways that we could help them and assist them, and even outside of our own lending products or outside of our own savings and what we do, we would also signpost them for assistance and help outside the organisation support them through that journey as well.
No, that's brilliant.
Just another point to touch on there is the support of the member through that journey of being either a saver or a borrower of us. It's not about there's the loan, go and enjoy it, come back to us when you need more money. It's about consistent support. Kind of like what a workplace rep does. In the workplace, it's about constant support every single day for the employee. For us, it's about support for the members every day. If you're struggling financially, tell us, and we will try and help you as much as possible. through COVID-19, all financial organisations were providing payment holidays and payment breaks. That's not the case anymore, but with First Class Credit Union it is. And it's a part of a daily routine to have those conversations to find out, do we need to restructure your lending? Do you need to increase your savings because you've got an unexpected life emergency coming down the line? Or what else can we do to better your financial situation? So it's about constant support in line with what the trade union does on the ground in the workplaces.
No, that's fantastic work. Talk a lot about members and membership, and obviously from the CWU perspective, have you got CWU members that are on your board at this moment in time?
We do indeed. I think every single trade union board member is an active trade union member. We were founded through trade union values, and it's something we hold close to our heart, is the representation of that on our board. How they manage the staff team primarily, and how they manage the credit union going forward as well. The strategy is about pulling everyone together for one common goal: representation and ethical values. Our trade union representation on the board makes sure that's part of every single conversation we have.
Yeah. I think you both mentioned the COVID situation, obviously the cost of living crisis. Have you seen a spike in people coming to the credit union for help over the last few years?
Undeniably, there's, for the last couple, right through COVID, the amount of emergency loans that people were asking for, cost of living crisis, that's continued. And it was one of the benefits that Luke has just suggested that we continue to do. Where banks and that give the pauses that didn't affect people's credit just throughout COVID, we still work on that on a daily basis. So we still have team members who speak to individuals to assist them if they need pauses in the loan, if they need assistance not to pay the loan, if they've got a loan with us, or they need emergency withdrawals for any emergencies that come up in their own personal circumstances or in their lives. And part of the board, and what's great about the credit union, something that's really good for the membership, the credit union is not for profit. It's not about making profit. So all our board members, they don't get paid, they're not on a wage. They all do it because they are volunteers and they want to do it for the right reasons, for communities and to support the membership. As part of that, any profits that are made by the credit union are fed back into the membership. So they are rewarded for part of their savings. They will get a dividend when there's profit made by the credit union. It's not for use by the credit union, it's to support the members going through.
You talk about, again, the members. What about members' families? Are they able to access the credit union?
They are, thankfully, yes. We love seeing a family application come through the door, or come through the website, because it shows that we've given someone such a great experience that they're going to promote our service to someone in the household. There's nothing more personal than that. By asking your wife, husband, your child, maybe a parent you're looking after in the household to join the credit union you're a part of. So for us, it's a real confidence boost to show that someone is able to do that for us. Unfortunately, the only caveat is you must reside at the same address as the current member. And that's only due to a law that's in place at the UK government level. We're trying to get that changed as a credit union sector. We're pushing for that. It's been quite difficult at the moment, but hopefully at the next turnaround of a Credit Union Act, we'll get that changed and allow us people to put grandchildren accounts in for people that they don't live with.
No, that's brilliant news. You donate a lot to community projects. Can you sort of elaborate, give us a little bit of information on what community projects you might be involved in?
There's one currently that will be taken on board within the next few weeks. There's actually what's known in Scotland as a kilt walk. So there's a kilt walk, 23-mile walk. There's a number of staff who are currently in training, doing a 23-mile walk any day of the week. It's going to be difficult, but there's staff who are all training to do that. They're all getting sponsorship, and that sponsorship will be going to support Alzheimer's and also the Marina Daglish, the Northwest. So there's two charities. Along with that, there's other charities that I'm sure Luke will touch on that we've been supporting in the past few years, and we will continue to support.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so similar to that, each year we try and do a standalone charitable donation. 2 years ago we hiked the tallest mountain in the UK, Ben Nevis, as a staff team. Some made it, some didn't, but we all attempted it. So we were very proud of the people who got out of bed early in the morning, drove to Ben Nevis and even attempted it for a good cause. We work very closely with fan supporting Foodbanks.
Okay.
One of our directors is Paul Chadwick, the Warrington Mail Centre branch secretary, and a massive advocate of fan supporting Foodbanks. So we've been involved in a lot of the collection drives. We sponsor a lot of their clothing materials, make sure that their logo is visible alongside the credit union. We've done some donations and financial donations as well A local charity within Glasgow that we work with is Say Women, who represent young women who've survived a host of abuse categories. So it's a really important charity for us.
Yep.
A lot of our staff are women. I think we're about 60% women in terms of staff-wise. So that's one that we're really close to home for us. So we donate care packages for each of the young people they support. We've donated them financially and we've raised some money for them as well. So those are our two mainstay ones alongside our annual charitable donation as well.
No, that's brilliant. Some great work going on there. Obviously, have you got any final messages that you'd like to give out to people, to the CWU members?
Of course, firstly, to everyone who's a member just now, thank you for supporting First Class Credit Union. We're at 10,000 members strong today, over 33 years because of you. Secondly, to the reps who invite Paul and our Business Development Officer Gurmeet into the workplaces to help promote First Class Credit Union. You guys do the hard work for us. We turn up, smile on our face and speak to the employees of the workplace. You guys do all the organising, so thank you very much for that. That's what's got us to here today as well. Probably two main questions I have for everyone listening is, what is your plan for an unexpected life emergency financially? A major car repair, a washing machine breakdown, an unexpected vet bill. If your answer's not savings, let's start thinking about savings and building savings, and one of the best ways to do that is through First Class Credit Union. Your account is not linked to your bank account, so it's a nest egg. It's hidden away on an app, just like you would access your bank, but on an app that you can then access 24/7 and need it if you need the funds. So think about that question. And secondly, what's important to you when you're borrowing money? Is it competitive rates? Is it service? Is it speaking to a member of staff when you phone them first and you don't need to press 7 buttons to get through to an automated response? Is it the follow-up response? Is it the support through the loan term? Because all of those is the boxes we tick. So if those two questions make you think about joining First Class Credit Union, then we feel like we've achieved what we wanted to achieve today. Paul,
no, it's brilliant. Thank you.
Just one final thing to add, and this goes for everybody. There's always a stigma, unfortunately, when people are in financial difficulties. There's an embarrassment of actually come forward. We are here to help. We are here to help. We are here to support you. And if we can't give you that help and that assistance, we'll surely still signpost you in the right direction. Don't be ashamed of everything. We are a membership credit union who's glad to help in the community, is glad to help in the workplace. We are all CWU members and we'll always be here for you. Just pick up that phone and we'll be there to help.
No, that's absolutely brilliant, and thank you both. Now it's time for our next guests, Fan Supporting Foodbanks, a brilliant organisation with deep CWU links, bringing together football supporters to collect food in local communities. Before we chat to them, here is a short clip. Brilliant. I am joined now by Fan Supporting Foodbank representative Dave Kelly and CWU representative Paul Chadwick. Welcome, guests. Great to see you with us.
Good afternoon.
Dave, can I come to you first? Tell us a bit about the work you've been doing.
Yeah, Fan Supporting Foodbanks set up in October 2015. A really simple idea, about 40,000 fans going to Goodison Park, 50,000 fans going to Anfield, and wouldn't it be a good idea if them fans could donate to local food banks? Now, the Walton constituency in Liverpool is the only constituency with 2 Premier League football clubs in it. 6 of the 8 wards within them constituencies are amongst the most socially and economically deprived. You've got these 2 big iconic institutions with turnovers of hundreds of millions of pounds right in the midst of them, very little of which ripples down into the local community. So we hit on the idea about using fans to support the local community that both clubs are in.
That's brilliant. But Paul, how and why did you get involved?
Well, I'm a season ticket holder at Goodison, and I used to come and donate food to the van that was parked outside the ground. And I sort of spoke to them, and obviously they're like a family. Spoke to them about getting involved and welcomed everywhere they went, and I just really wanted to help as much as I could. And as I say, when I spoke to Dave said come along to Anfield as well, which as an Evertonian it's probably more important that we do appear at our sort of rivals, so that they can see that it's not just about football, it's about helping in the community.
Right, so I mean that nicely brings us on to the next question, Dave. You've done something that people thought could never be done. You've united Liverpool and Everton fans. I think you've gone further than that. You've got Rangers and Celtic fans united in the same organisation as well. Does this show just how much people care about the issue?
Well, to be honest with you, when we first launched, and for the last 8 years, the whole campaign has been run under the hashtag Hunger Doesn't Wear Club Colours. And we're extremely keen from day one. Hunger isn't red, it isn't blue, it isn't black or white, it isn't green. Hunger doesn't wear club colours. People who are donating to the food bank don't ask someone if they're hungry, are they a red or a blue, or what club do they support. You donate to fan supporting food banks because you want to help and assist in your local community. Now, over that 8-year period, we've embellished it to say hunger doesn't wear club colours, but it doesn't have a race, doesn't have a religion, doesn't have a gender, doesn't have a sexual presence. Hunger doesn't discriminate, and nor do we. We're totally inclusive and welcome anyone aboard.
No, it's a big and important message there. Thank you. Paul, there's been a lot of political support. Can you talk us through what political support there's been out there for us?
Well, within the founders, there's Dave and Rob Daniels, and also Ian Byrne, who's obviously the Liverpool Labour MP for West Derby, and the 3 of them formed Fan Support Food Bank. And Ian obviously has some good connections within Parliament who help out. We also have Zara Sultana who likes to get involved. Beth Winter is another one who does. But really within the Merseyside community that we deal with, there's people getting involved all the time. Steve Rotherham, Andy Burnham was at a meeting we had the other a few weeks ago, and it's everyone who wants to help, and that goes for most political people. With the doors always open, and we're always grateful for anything that they can contribute.
But I think just to supplement what Paul's just said there, as well as the fan supporting food banks and the hashtag Right to Food campaign is an integral part into everything we did, and it'll probably come as no surprise to CWU members that Liverpool City Council became the first city council in the country to be a Right to Food city, which was quickly followed by our colleagues down the road in Manchester. There's now 48 local authorities right throughout the country who've now signed up and are part of the Right to Food campaign, and I think that's another important stand of what we do. This isn't just football supporters outside stadiums. There's a political element to what we're doing as well. We were up at Glasgow this weekend attending a Celtic fan supporting food banks collection, and then attending a fringe meeting to talk about the Right to Food campaign up in Scotland in Glasgow. So it's important the two of them go hand in hand.
Yeah, no, it's amazing work that you're doing. Thanks, Paul. Dave, members will be watching this and wondering if their local club, local CWU branch can get involved. Can they?
Absolutely. I think one of the questions I was asked, funny enough, up in Glasgow. Everton, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Newcastle, Leeds, Aston Villa, the list goes on, West Ham. And people seem to think that it's just big clubs. On Merseyside, I can tell you, there's under 9 football teams collect for fan support and food banks. There's a Liverpool league that any poor child unfortunate enough to get a red or yellow card gets a £2 fine. Then fines get donated to the food bank. Oh. So there's kids leagues, there's junior leagues, there's kids football teams, semi-professional teams. One of the most startling things I've ever seen in a stadium anyway was in a semi-professional game where when the referee and 2 linesmen come out of the tunnel carrying carrier bags and come over to the food bank and made the donation. Right. So it can include anybody. If anyone has got any interest in whether their local club or they're interested in starting one up themselves, don't hesitate, contact us on social media and we'll give them every help, assistance and encouragement we can.
No, that's brilliant work.
Can I just add on that as well, Dan?
Absolutely.
Last summer, St Helens Rugby League Club got involved and we were there for the launch day, weren't we? And they have really grown very, very quickly. So it doesn't just have to be football. It can be any sport at all where there's a community around it. So St Helens are hopefully going to be the first of many rugby league clubs that in fact we've had a few reps from Wigan who have approached me and asked me how they got started and what happened, so we'll put them in touch with St Helens.
Brilliant, again, brilliant work. Paul, just and coming back to yourself, your branch is heavily involved in the local community, not just with fan supporting food banks. Why is community work so important for the union to be involved in? Shouldn't we just be concentrating in the workplace?
No, well, a trade union is the community. Every trade unionist and every member of the trade union lives within the community. So it's really important that we're here to help each other. We're here to help people in work with any work issues they have. But we're also here to help people outside of work if they have any problems at home. And unfortunately, food poverty is something that's affecting people in work as well as people out of work now. So we like to get involved and try and help the people the most vulnerable in society. We also support a charity called Refugee Assist, which supports all refugees from Ukraine, from Syria, from anywhere, that anyone who needs help. So that's what it's all about. Everyone knows somebody who needs help in one way or another, and we're here to help in any way we can, our members and our members' families and friends.
Thank you very much. I mean, Dave, that leads us nicely into the next question. What's the next steps for the campaign?
Well, the next steps for the campaign is carry on doing very much what we have done, and I think it's also important over the last couple of years supporting workers in dispute, and I think I think fan supporting food banks on Merseyside was certainly regular visitors to the CWU in Wellington during the dispute. Why wouldn't we be? Why wouldn't we be calling up in a big van with refreshments and standing in solidarity with workers in struggle? And that's whether it's workers at the post office or the NHS or anywhere else. It's about us supporting workers in struggle, because workers and trade union members support us right throughout the whole of our work. Where to next? We've had an approach from 8 Bundesliga clubs. Wow. About starting fan supporting food banks in West Germany. We recent, well, it's 12 months now, the 4 main clubs, now just think about the power of what we're doing. The 4 main clubs in Belfast are all part of the fan supporting food banks network in Northern Ireland. So we've got the 4 main clubs in Belfast collecting food and distributing it amongst their communities. I think football is the perfect vehicle for us to get a message over. It isn't charity, it's about solidarity. No one said to me in the 80s when I was collecting for the miners, or in the 90s collecting for the Liverpool Dockers, that's charity. It isn't. It's working class solidarity, and we are definitely stronger together.
No, absolutely a resounding message there. Absolutely fantastic work that you're doing, and going Europe and international next, no doubt. So that's brilliant. Paul, surely this is the day and age. It's an absolute disgrace that food banks are even needed. I mean,
well, yes, I think everyone agrees that food banks shouldn't be here, but they are here, and until they're not needed, and as me and Dave often speak, we don't want to be doing this. We think we shouldn't be doing this, but we have to do this, and we have to help. And while there's a government or any government in that's not going to help the people in our communities, then that's the reason why we do what we do. And until it changes, until we have a massive change in the way people are treated at our level, at our working class level in our communities, then we are going to be needed, and we're going to be here for everyone.
And I think that's important, to be honest with you, because Fund Supporting Food Banks as an organisation, our mission statements and our constitution actually says, the first words in it says, close us down. I want to start talking about going to the match and talking about players who are good, bad or indifferent, or tactics, moral good, bad or indifferent, not where we're getting the next donation from and where we're going to deliver it. And that really is important. And that's why over them 8 years, Fund Supporting Food Banks has evolved. And we've now got 6 pantries on Merseyside. Them 6 pantries on Merseyside actually fed over 100,000 families in the city last year. And that's the driving force behind what we're doing.
Guys, absolutely magnificent work you're doing. Keep on going. Brilliant. Thank you very much. A strong way to finish this segment. Thank you to both of you. Now CWU Humanitarian Aid does a brilliant job here in the UK and abroad. They are so popular across our union and above. Let's check out some of their work. Very moving stuff there. I'm pleased to be joined now by Carl Webb and Julia Upton, representing CWU HA Humanitarian Aid. Great to have you with us. Carl, first of all, can I turn to you, please? Talk to us about CWU HA, how it was formed and what it does, please.
All right. I'll try and be quick.
A big one to start with.
Yeah, well, we were formed in 1995. It was on the back of a visit from 3 people from a city called Tuzla in Bosnia. Now, some people of my age will remember that there was a war in that area, and it was a lot of atrocities were carried out. And we met with these 3 people in Manchester, and there was a Bosnian, a Muslim, and a Serb, and 60% of marriages in Tuzla were mixed. Anyway, what we heard was we did the normal thing. We listened to him, we gave him a round of applause, and we gave him some funds. And then we heard that there was a humanitarian aid convoy leaving, and I thought, well, hang on, let's do a little bit more. So we got hold of an old BT truck, and I asked for volunteers, and over 200 CW members put their name forward. I mean, we only wanted 4, and it was amazing.
That's the CWU for you.
Yeah, they were amazing people. I mean, they were basically going into a war zone. I mean, they even had to go down a thing called Bulletproof Alley or something. And honestly, it was we didn't know how bad it was going to be. Anyway, 4 people came back. They reported. We were working with the trade unions over there, by the way, as well. So, because as a charity, you know, we work off trade union values and that. And everybody that's a trustee and involved in it is a trade unionist and a CW member. But like I said, we did 6 convoys to Tuzla, and then obviously peace came, the UN moved in, and things were getting back to some normality. So we were going to rest on our laurels. Well done, we've done fantastic. And there was an executive council member called Doc Burnett, who then said to us, well, why don't you go and do some work in Bulgaria? And I'm thinking, well, in Bulgaria, we've been on holiday, some people in Bulgaria. What's the problem there? And there was a major problem. There was the orphanages that were from homes from hell. 300 children, 4 or 5 in beds. The beds were soiled. There was no glass in the windows. The orphanages were heated by wood burners. This wasn't just restricted to Bulgaria. You found this in most of the ex-Soviet Union countries, like Romania, Moldova, and so on. And it was awful. And we did a lot of work over there, but we also did put a little bit of pressure as well on the government to get things changed, because there's no point just taking humanitarian aid. You want to see sustainable change, so when you go back the next time, things have improved. So we've then done obviously projects in other countries and so on, but that's how we got started. And then we became a registered charity in 1998.
Okay, that's brilliant. So turning to Julia, you've had experience both of the fundraising side of it, but I believe you've also been over and done some ventures as well. Have you seen the results of the donations? What's that been like?
Yeah, I mean, I first got involved having seen photos from the convoys, and realised that I needed to do something to help. I mean, I think it's been said that we all recognise that CWU and CWU members, their priority is the workplace. Yeah. But also it's collectivism, and people care. Most trade union members care about themselves, their families, wider society. I saw what happened with the convoys, and I have to be honest, I wasn't brave enough to go on a convoy. Having what Carl's just described with some of the orphanages, I just thought it would just
break your heart.
Yeah, break my heart, literally break my heart. But wanted to help, so started getting involved with fundraising. I was then approached by one of the trustees, Alex Pearson, about a project that we had got in Africa, a school in Africa, and he said, would I like to get involved in that? So I helped with fundraising with that, and then went out to that project. And what I absolutely love, and I'm so proud of the CWHA for, is that we raise money ourselves, through branches, through affiliations, through individual fundraising events, to take the money directly to the children that need it. And I'm not knocking other charities. Lots of charities do a lot of good work, but there are high admin costs. There, you donate your money, you don't necessarily see where that's used. With CWHA, what I loved about it is that we don't just hand over money on a wing and a prayer and hope that it gets to the children that need it. We take money directly, whether that be via convoy, whether it be trustees going out to the school and orphanages in Africa, and directly spending the money where it needs to be spent. And that's what I'm so proud of, that I can say to people when we fundraise, we can give you an assurance, we know where that money's going, we know exactly how that's going to benefit people, and it is done by volunteers directly. The money goes directly to the children.
No, that's absolutely great. Carl, if I can turn to yourself now. I mean, Julie was just talking about the money and people donating. Obviously, as a charity, you can always do with more money. I mean, that's what it's about at the end of the day. How easy is it for people to donate and for people to get involved as well?
Well, we've got a website people can go on. We do Just Giving. They can become an affiliated member. We have a lot of members who pay £2 a month. It makes a big difference to get, if you can get hundreds and thousands of people just giving us £2 a month, which, let's be honest, and it's a bit of an old cliche, but you can't get half a pint for £2. Yeah. You definitely can't down in London anyway. So it's easy to, and it's to get involved is just get in touch with us. There's email on our website, CWHA.org, and it is real. We've got people involved all over the UK. We really have some fantastic volunteers. There's people that may never go on our trips or missions. They'll not go on the convoys, might not go to Africa, but they're doing work. We've got a group of retired ladies who do a lot of knitting for us in Essex. So we've got some amazing volunteers. And I meant just to say, one thing about when people make a donation, you get people who say, well, you're doing a project, do you need anything? And we'll say, well, we need a new fridge freezer, say, for a centre. So we'll say to the branch, we'll say to a company, you don't have to give us the money, donate us that and we'll take it. So you
goods.
know.
Yeah.
But what, as a charity, like you say, Julia said, we pride ourselves on making sure that, you know, money that's donated is getting spent on the good causes. Nobody gets paid, nobody claims expenses, you know, and you know, so you know when you give us the money, it's going to be spent on the projects. No,
brilliant work. Julia, let's talk about some key projects that are coming up in 2024.
Right, well, we've got ongoing projects. We haven't done convoys recently, but we've made sure that aid has got out to people. Obviously, there's so many things going on in the world that we don't have to remind people. You know, people affected by war, refugees. We did work with earthquake in Turkey. They're all ongoing. So is the African project ongoing. But we're also really working hard at the moment on UK projects, as has been discussed earlier when it comes to food banks and you know, domestic violence and women needing refuge. We are really keen to make sure that we look for new projects and develop a lot of the UK projects as well. We've done work going out to Calais. All of those are ongoing, but we're also on the lookout for new projects. And what we'd say to any of our members or anybody watching, listening to this, that if you know of a good cause, we want to hear about it, because we want to expand the projects that we're doing. I mean, I don't know if you want to expand on areas in Blackpool, for instance.
Yeah, we do an amazing partnership with Blackpool Coastal Housing, and what we do, Paul Newsham, who's one of our project leads on it, and what we're doing is helping people who are fleeing domestic abuse, because when people flee domestic abuse, they leave with nothing. So if a woman flees, she'll take a couple of kids, maybe 2 kids or whatever, say, children, and they leave with nothing. And so they'll turn up at a centre that we're supporting, and we'll have like new clothing for them, school equipment, school uniform, and all stuff like that. So we're doing that, and also we help homeless, young people who find themselves homeless. So we're help supporting projects like that. But what we also done, I think it's important to stress, we also help a lot of CWU members who find themselves, I mean, recently one of our members has found herself to be really, really poorly, and she wanted to be able to take her children on some trips. Okay. So we help fund that. We've helped fund by special wheelchairs that NHS wouldn't supply for children's sensory equipment. So we'll support individual projects. I mean, one of the nicest projects we supported was a group of housewives who wanted to get pyjamas for children for Christmas Eve, and to help vulnerable families, because obviously we've been through years of austerity, we've got a cost of living crisis, there's a lot of people there that can't afford certain things like that, so we helped with that, and it was a really nice thing. So we try to help like community groups. You know, we don't do a lot of work with big charities, but we do a lot of work with a charity called Mad Aid, which is a fantastic charity, and we work with them in Moldova, and we've helped set up like a disability centre. So we are trying to do a lot of work in Eastern Europe, in Tanzania and the UK.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, one of the things we was going to touch on was the work within the communities as well, and I believe you sponsor local football teams, kids football teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have done that, and we're keen to do, like Julia said, we're keen to do more. I mean, we've had sponsored a football tournament in Moldova, and we actually sponsored the first sort of game between girls teams in a tournament, and this was a few years ago. And one of our trustees was on, I think it was at Heathrow Airport, and they bumped into the Moldovan women's football team, and 2 of the girls that were in the Moldovan women's football team had played in that tournament.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
no, that's brilliant, absolutely great.
But we also, because we provided kits out in Tanzania for one of the street kids football teams out there, and we actually we sell those as well to raise money for the charity. So anybody who's interested, we've got the CWHA colours and the football kit, that we're keen to sell those, and obviously a big percentage, some of it covers the cost of the product, but a big percentage then goes into the charity. So
no, that's brilliant. So I mean, touching on that, how can people get more involved? I mean, as well as donating, but can they get involved in the convoys? Can they get involved in some of the community work? And where do they find sort of the into that?
We would ask everybody who's interested to approach us. We've got the website, we've got social media presence to get in contact with us. We are never going to turn down a volunteer. As we've said before, you take our reps and our members, we will always encourage them to be active in the workplace. That's always going to be the priority. But there are people, whether it be that their thing is equality and diversity or health and safety or the wider society or politics. I think there are a lot of people, a lot of our members who want to do this work, want to help, don't know how to, or don't want to become a workplace rep, don't want to become active in that sense. But activism comes in all shapes and forms, and what we'd say is if there's anybody, particularly young people, I mean, we've done a lot of work with our young workers, because I actually think for a young person to get involved in volunteering of this nature, it changes people's lives. I've been out to Africa a few times now. I took my son on the third time that I went because I wanted him to understand why it was so important to me. It changes people's lives. If you want to get involved in something like that, it changes your perspective. I think there are a lot of people, young and old, who want to give back. They want to pay forward in some way, and don't necessarily want to do that in a political sense or in a active sense in terms of the workplace, but are already doing good work in their own communities. And what we'd say, my main aim in terms of promoting CWU, and hopefully this will do, is to not have a single CWU member or their family who haven't heard of CWHA and don't know how to contact us if they want to do some good work and make a huge difference. We say, you know, in terms of our motto, it's delivering smiles. It doesn't just deliver smiles to the children, it delivers smiles to any of our activists and volunteers who get involved. It
sounds absolutely amazing. Look, I want to give you both the final opportunity to say something to CWU members. I mean, a lot of what you've already said is probably going to resonate with them, and I'm expecting that you'll start to get a lot of people getting in touch with you. But look, Carl, if you want to...
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the CWU members and all the CWU branches who've supported us for over, well, close to 30 years. You know, without that support, we couldn't have delivered the thousands of smiles that we've been able to do, and all the work that we do. I trust me, we could have gone on for another 20 minutes, but Chris would tell us off. So, but yeah,
we'll get you back.
Just want to thank everybody for the support, and please get involved. Like you say, we're doing work all over. We're very proud of what we've achieved in Tanzania. You know, we're very proud of what we've done in Eastern Europe and what we're doing in the UK. And like I say, if you want to support us or just want more information, you know, get on our social media and drop us a line, and we'll get in touch. But for me, it's just saying thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Julia?
Yeah, and there's all different ways of helping us, whether that be hands-on in terms of volunteering or whether it's sponsorship and raising money. There's a few things now that we've developed as traditional annual events. I mean, people probably heard of the CWHA hike that we do every year. I'm not asking everybody to come and walk 25 miles, but if they can raise the awareness, that would be a huge help for us. I've got a t-shirt on which you can't see, but on the back of the t-shirt it's be part of something special, and I actually think that most people would really love to be part of something special. This charity is something special, and what I'd say is if you've got any ideas in either fundraising or somewhere that you think somebody could benefit from our support, then get in touch. You know, please don't hesitate to contact us.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. Look, I'm sure that we can get all your social media platforms out on our websites, on our social media platforms. So thank you very much for coming in.
Yeah, can I just say,
of course, absolutely.
I just want to thank the comms department as well for all the support they've given us over the years and given us this opportunity, especially Chris. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now we're going to be joined by CWU Head of Comms, Chris Webb, for an update on our new studio build.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. Brilliant. Another great show as well. Congratulations to you and the great work all the team are doing. We're here in the studio. You can see it's just an empty space, really, but we wanted to start charting the journey. So next week, the soundproofing's coming in. The week after that, We'll get all the desk in and all the microphones, etc. So probably about 3 weeks or so from actually coming into here, filming from here, working from here, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the union. We're going to be able to do, of course, our weekly shows, but we'll be able to do our CWU live events, we'll be able to do podcasts from here, and I think it's going to be a fantastic addition to our comms armory. So we're really excited to be taking you through it on a week-by-week journey, but more excited to be in here and using it on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. I also want to say to the members and the reps watching that we're trying to provide a variety of shows for you here. You've obviously had the industrial shows where we've had the DGST and we've had DGSP in, which have been fantastic. We've had Dave talking about the general union stuff alongside Tony Kearns, and today we've had a show where there's some external stuff has come in about what the union does in communities. It's going to be a real mix going forward. Something that we are particularly excited to bring you is our live phone-ins. No trade union has ever tried this. It's going to come with some risks. Some of you are going to have some things to say, maybe some colourful things to say to the union leadership, but we believe in opening up this union. We've done that since Dave's election as General Secretary, and we're going to continue to do it. So loads and loads of more exciting things to come at you. Greg, you're doing a great job, mate. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Chris. We really appreciate you coming on. But to all of you out there, we have some brilliant new guests and episodes lined up for the coming weeks. Thank you for keeping on tuning in, and keep on sharing, discussing and telling your mates in the union about what we're trying to do here. Until next week, stick with your union.